Hey there, I just made this new night lamp for my wife because there is no way I would let her spend 20 euros buying a new lamp from Amazon and having it delivered the next day, where I just can design, assemble, code and spend the same money or even more money on a do-it-yourself project. That being said, I will show you in this video how I made this 3D printed wireless RGB night lamp that uses WLED library and a capacitive sensor, how you can make one, what to have in mind when designing, assembling and using WLED with a capacitive sensor. So let me show you guys how I made this night lamp over here, starting with the design and the 3D printing process. First, I have to say that the design for this lamp over here was inspired by this lamp, but at the moment that I was inspired, I took some eye measurements and boy do I need to see a doctor because there's a really big difference between them, size-wise. Going forward to the design, you can see that it's made from 4 parts: base, top, inside diffuser and outside design. The base and the top have these grooves over here, and the diffuser has these things that locks the base and the top together with the diffuser in place. The design part just slides over the diffuser for a better look. Also, the base has this hollow cylinder where the LEDs are. It has a cut for the USB Type-C power port, a holder for the microcontroller and a hole for a switch button. I have used in this project a capacitive sensor or a button, whatever you want to call it, and I have glued it on top and inside the hollow cylinder of the base STL. 3D printing this shouldn't be a problem. I have just added supports for these grooves over here for the base and the top. Also for the base, I have added support to this cut in the cylinder where the cables from the capacitive sensor will come out, and also for the switch button here. All the files that I have used in this project are available to download in the description section below. For power input, we will use this USB Type-C, and as a microcontroller we will use a WeMOS D1 Mini together with some WS2812B RGB lights and the capacitive touch button. Like you can already see, the power button is already inside the 3D printed part, and we will also need some wires to make all the connections. Regarding the connections, we have the following. The whole thing will be powered from a 3 amp 5 volt power supply. We have 5 volts as VCC for the microcontroller and the RGB lights, and 3.3 volts as VCC for the capacitive button. We will use pin D5 for the data output for the RGB lights and pin D7 as input from the capacitive sensor. Let's speak a little about what problems and what you need to be careful when you design and make such a project. Like I said before, the lamp is going to be powered from a 5 volt 3 amp power supply, which is going to be enough for the power requirements of the whole project. Beside that, we also have the WLED library, in which we can set a power limit for the LEDs. In this lamp I have used a total of 36 RGB LED lights, and that means it can consume a maximum of 2.2 amps. Another problem that could come up is the heat generated from the LEDs. Since we are going to use it as a night lamp and we're gonna use it 30 to 1 hour per night, I don't see that being as a real problem. But generally speaking, heat could be a problem for such printed items. Just a small info regarding the capacitive button. It uses a TP223 IC, which has 4 modes, and you can see those now on the screen. We are using the config 1, meaning that the input pin is low, and when we touch the button, the pin will be pulled high. We're gonna need this info later when we're gonna set the button type in the WLED library. After soldering all the connections, I have used the power of a glue gun to hold everything in place. I already was 2 days in at this point, and there was no way I would design everything again to make the components fit better. Now, going over to the softer side. Like I said, we are going to use WLED library for this project. And you might ask, what is WLED library? Well, here is a nice response from Google saying that WLED is one of the fastest way to add a feature-rich implementation of an ESP8266 or an ESP32 web server to control addressable LEDs like the NeoPixels. For installing WLED, we just go to this website over here, connect our WeMOS D1 Mini with a USB cable to the computer, select the right COM port and just press install. After the installation is done, you can either add the credentials of your Wi-Fi network, where to connect to the WLED, or use the AT server WLED to open the GUI interface. If you enter the Wi-Fi network credentials like me, you can download the WLED app. When opening it, go to Add Lights and press Discover Lights. After that, your light will be discovered and added in the app, and the same GUI like in the AP server will appear. We will go to the LED preferences and you can already see the maximum current setting. I have set this limit at 50% usage of my power supply. You also need to take into consideration that this is only for the NeoPixels and not for the whole project. That means that the microcontroller also uses 150 mAh for Wi-Fi communication on top of the LEDs. After that, we can see the LED output settings. I have set GPIO to 14 since D5 is GPIO 14 and that is connected to the data line of the NeoPixels, and the number of lights is 36. Going forward to button 0 GPIO, which is our capacitive button, we will set it to GPIO 13 and the type as push inverted. If we leave it as a push button, it won't work, since a push button it's a button that stays high and when pressed is gonna be pulled low. Our capacitive button is exactly the opposite. After doing all of this, we can go and save the settings. What we haven't done until now is to assign a command to our button, but for that we need to define some presets. First, I want to select the light intensity and color that I would like to use, and then go to the presets tab and press on the preset button. Leave the default checkboxes checked, give a name, remember the ID, and save it. After that, I want to go back to the color tab and turn off the lamp by pressing the power button in the upper left corner. Go back to presets and make a new one with the actual state of the lamp. Now we have to go to settings, time and macros and scroll down to where it says button actions. As you can see, you can have two actions for button 0 for a short press and for a long press. I have set for the short press preset 1, which was lamp on with a defined light and intensity, and for long press I have set preset 2 when the lamp was off. Save the settings and now you can turn on or off the lamp by simply touching it. Of course, you can assign whatever light or scenario you want to the button and you are free to experiment with all other settings. If you made it until here, thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and maybe I will see you into the next video. Or not, who knows? Almost forgot. Let's go and see if the wife really likes it.